I want to start this week's episode off talking to you a little bit about timing, talking to you a little bit about energy. So last Monday, I had a laundry list of things to do. I was not done with them. The day before was Easter, I was traveling, and I just didn't have the stuff done that I wanted to have done when I wanted to have it done. My mom and her 3 sisters were coming into the city. They were going to have a day where they walked around, saw the sights, did a little shopping, and then ended the day having dinner in Little Italy. It was going to be beautiful. Now, I was home getting the work I needed to get done, knowing that they were coming into the city at 11:30, knowing I wouldn't be done at 11:30 to meet them, and beating myself up the entire morning and early afternoon. I'm wasting my time. I should be with my family. Just beating myself up as if I stole something. My brother's trying to calm me down. It's all right, Rock. Get what you got to get done. We'll meet them when we meet them. Finally, 3 o'clock rolls around. I'm done. I'm ready to go. They've been in the city for 3.5 hours. Now, when we go to meet them, they're absolutely chilling. We walk up to them, they're laughing, giggling, leaning against the stone on the outside of Central Park, smoking a joint. They could not be happier. They did not care that I wasn't there at 11:30. They were just happy to see us. Again, their whole plan for the day was to just bop around, enjoy each other's company, and see a bunch of beautiful sights that New York has to offer. So once we saw that their vibration was chill, we matched their vibration. Our vibration's chill too. Let us get in on that joint. Let's walk around. Let's spend time together. My Aunt Maria suggests going to this beautiful garden that I want to say was on 105th Street. Now we're on about 60th Street. And the thing about my family is we don't mind walking. We'll walk all day. We're walkers. So then my Aunt Debbie says, well, if we're going to go to this garden, we might as well walk through Central Park to get there. No sense in walking along the side of the street. And what is everybody? Absolutely game to do this. We're going with the flow, baby. Going where the day takes us. So we say, hell yeah, we'll walk through Central Park. So what happens when you have 6 stoned relatives who are giggling, enjoying each other's company, and walking through Central Park? Well, we're going to stop and smell the roses, more specifically the magnolias. We see a beautiful magnolia tree. We say, we got to take a picture in front of this magnolia tree. It's pink and it's beautiful and we're here. Let's take a picture in front of it. So me, my mom, and her sisters take a picture in front of this tree. My brother takes the picture. Now, you know, when you're in a public place taking pictures, people are walking in front of you. They're doing the, oh, I'm sorry. Blah, blah. No, go ahead. There's a whole dance when people are taking pictures in the middle of a crowded area. So after my brother takes a couple shots of us, he walks over. The 6 of us huddle. We start looking at the pictures, saying the ones we like, the ones we don't like. We should take more. We should take this. And I say to him, you got to be in one of the pictures. He tells me, I'm good. I go, no, what? We're having a moment. You have to be in one of the pictures. Take a selfie. While him and I are bickering back and forth, my Aunt Dee says my name in a way that she doesn't normally say my name. It was stern. It was purposeful. There was some meat behind my name. So I lock eyes with her. I knew something was up, and I go, what? And in that moment, she says to me, Rock, there's Dave Chappelle. So I look over my left shoulder, and right before my very eyes, 2 feet away from me, is Dave Chappelle himself, walking right by us in Central Park. He had some family with him and a couple other random people I didn't recognize. And we all just stopped and we stared and we looked at him. We didn't bother him. We didn't ask him for a picture. But the only way I can describe his presence, it's what I imagine a lion walking through the jungle is like. His energy was palpable from 20 feet away. I mean, it was him. I've worked in New York for a really long time. I have to meet celebrities pretty often. And I didn't even meet him in that moment. And when I tell you, I have never in my life felt an energy like that. I have never in my life felt an energy like that. So all the time I spent being hard on myself that morning, criticizing myself, saying, oh, I should have had this done. I could have had this done. None of it mattered. Because the greatest living comedian of our time walked past me. And there's no way he didn't hear us bickering about the selfie. He walked past us in that moment. Everything every one of us did that day made it so we crossed paths with him. So if you're ever feeling like your timing is off or you haven't done enough, take a deep breath and trust the timing of everything. Because I promise you, with every fiber of my being, right now, you're exactly where you're supposed to be.
Time for
the
Welcome to the Rocky Rundown, where you get to learn a little bit about my week. Party God Squad, hello. Did you have a good week? I sure hope so. I hope spring wasn't the only thing that sprung, if you catch my drift, you little horn dogs. And you do, because you wouldn't be listening to this podcast if you didn't. And if you don't, well, I make sex puns, often. So if you can't keep it up, then you at least better be able to keep up, you dig? My week was a perfect spring week. Thank you for caring. And I wasn't the only one who had a good week. Justin Jones and Justin Pearson were reinstated to their seats in the Tennessee House. Yes, rightfully so. It happened so quickly after last week's episode was released that it made the intro I did old news almost immediately. But that's a good thing. That's a good problem for me and you, the listeners, to have. And it's one less problem that the country has. Unless, of course, you're a racist that loves mass shootings, then in that case, boy, oh boy, do I have bad news for you. You're gonna want to sit down for this one. No, don't sit on the toilet, buddy. Let's get your racist ass a chair to sit in. Oh, you're not on a toilet. You're just shitting yourself on a regular seat. Gosh, you racists sure are backwards and silly. Gee willikers. Congratulations to Representative Pearson and Jones. You are the best. Keep on fighting that good fight, babies. Speaking of racists, I have an interesting cop story I saw with mine own two eyes. I'm walking home the other night from a night out. My friend's husband is in a 90s cover band that plays in my neighborhood, and it's one of my favorite things to do around these parts. So when I was walking home, I had a real pep in my step, a little spring in my schwing. And I got startled out of my joyful stride because a car pulled out of its parking space with the absolute quickness, full speed. It seemed unnecessary to me to exit a parking space with such vigor. But what do I know about how cars should be driven? I get paid 82 cents to a man's dollar, so I really should just get my ass back in the kitchen. Anywho, as I got closer to my place, I noticed the little speed demon had been pulled over. I said a little prayer to a non-white Jesus that this man wasn't black, and I pulled out my cell phone. JIC. Cops are so crazy. And I watched from my window while 5 cops surrounded the car. Oh boy. I have never seen a Fast and Furious movie other than the first one like a million years ago, but I'm pretty sure they don't get pulled over. That feels like it would slow down the plot significantly. The officers made the 2 people in the car get out, and instead of Vin Diesel, out wobbled Vin Unleaded. Yes, I did say wobbled, because he straight up stumbled out of his car. Drunk. I don't want to assume his ethnicity because I'm half black, but I've been mistaken for one of the March sisters on multiple occasions. But my money is on that this guy was full white. Let's recap, shall we? Sped out of his parking space as if there was a bomb about to go off that the rest of us didn't know about. Both him and his girl were stumbling harder than a pair of dice in an earthquake. And now everything I'm about to tell you is true. He yelled in the cop's face. He waved his hands and fingers in the cop's face. He threw his arm around his girlfriend and kissed her cheek in a way you only see in true crime footage before the woman goes missing. The way this guy was talking to the police, there was a little part of me that felt bad for them. Then I snapped out of that. But you have to believe me when I tell you he was the textbook definition of disorderly. Then, in the midst of his erraticness, we lock eyes. Fuck me, right? A man who has full control over the cops, who is wasted and now knows where I live and that I've been watching his entire interaction, now locks eyes with me and says, "Oh, these two got a front row seat." At this point, the lawless stand-in for Ed Norton in American History X had shown me that I didn't want to watch him anymore. Well, at least not from a window where he could see me. And you guys, they let him go. I don't know if he got a ticket, but a white dude who clearly was fucked up on something, they let him go get behind a wheel after he was belligerent as all hell. And he lived to see another day. So this is America, and it doesn't matter if he slips up. One of my besties had his nephew in town this week, and his nephew had never been to a drag show, so we took him to Lips, which is a famous drag bar that's existed for 25 years. Best of the best drag queens. To me, the show was way too short. The whole experience is only about an hour and a half, and I could have gone for 3 hours, but it's this big dance party, sing-along, a tiny bit of a comedy show. The drag queens have their one-liners. Thing about drag queens is they're going to be sassy to cis women. Oh yes, that is part of the culture. It doesn't matter. I once tipped a drag queen $20 at the start of the show, and she still asked me when I was filming the next season of Real Housewives of New Jersey, and not in a nice way. Maybe it was the leopard one piece, maybe it was my 4-foot hoops, or maybe it was my clip-on hair, but either way, my feelings were hurt in front of the group. Since then, I've learned to get drag queens to know I'm in it for the love of the game and not a fair weather audience member. One drag queen did a whole medley to Britney Spears, and I just have to say, shout out to Britney Spears. She made us banger after banger after banger, and I just don't want you to ever forget what a motherfucking legend and a treasure she is, okay? Okay. A Friday night out in New York City with a 15-year-old cool kid. What is a wholesome yet memorable thing you can do? Karaoke, yes. That was exactly what I was going to say. Do you know how difficult it is to get into a karaoke bar with a private room on a Friday night with someone who isn't 21? Even if you have no intention of drinking, only singing and laughing, pure wholesomeness, well, it's fucking impossible. In fact, you can't, especially if you don't have a reservation. We had to go all the way downtown, and I had to pay a bouncer $25 to get him in. And if you want to know what karaoke bar will let you in without ID, then Venmo me my $25 back, bitch. What the fuck? That brings us to Rocky's highest thoughts, my most stoned thoughts of the week. Number 1. I bet you men who want to make all these laws on women's bodies would shut the fuck up if they had to change a day 1 or 2 for my clotters tampon one time, just one time. And that is how we silence men. Number 2, and I think about this often, damn Rihanna, a song that catchy, and you couldn't have added one more verse where you spelled out the word umbrella for us. I'm out here absolutely struggling. Autocorrect doesn't even know what I mean. Number 3, hate to disappoint the single dads out there, but the only single zaddy's kid I would stepmom for is Drake. I'm sorry. And number 4, snooze alarms are a lot like exes who aren't done with an argument. The second you find a little quiet, here they come interrupting your peace. And just when you think they're done yelling at you, 2 minutes later, here they come again, making it impossible for you to get any sleep. My guest this week is comedian Marcus Monroe. Marcus's wild word was impulsive, which is always a great recipe for a wild story, so hang on tight. If you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. You can follow me at Wild Nights with Rocky on TikTok and Instagram, at Wild Nights Pod on Twitter. If you want to watch extended interviews with all of my guests, please subscribe to me on YouTube. If you'd like to support the show with your wallet, you can join my Patreon for $2 or $5 a month. Remember, $5 a month members get a free weekly Irish lesson alongside me. A big thank you and a future thank you to everyone who's written and everyone who will write a review when this episode is over. It really does make a difference. And now, please enjoy my Wild Nights conversation with Marcus Monroe. Marcus, welcome. Thank you for doing the podcast.
My pleasure, Rocky. Thanks for having me.
First
How
of
you
all,
doing?
I'm doing great. I love your Tupac poster in the back. I have a little bit, a friend made me a Jay-Z art like that. I have that in my house, so I love the Tupac. But I have something special for you.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Okay.
I couldn't find, I think I might have donated it. I couldn't find my NSYNC t-shirt. So the best I got is this Justin
Oh
Timberlake.
yes. Oh, Justin Timberlake, like that era of the Future Sex Love Sounds
Yes.
is probably my favorite Justin Timberlake record
Oh, it was
because
the
like
best one. Yeah.
every track bleeds into the
Hmm.
next track. It's just it's like all very like what goes around comes around. You
Yeah.
got I Think She Knows, Love Stone. It's just like such sexy back.
Oh, yeah,
Such a great album.
that's a sexy back album. And I just for anyone listening or watching, Marcus, you are a huge boy band fanatic.
Oh, huge. It's too much. It's too
Really?
much. Yeah. I actually like sometimes I take a step back and I'm like, okay, I need to just like chill out with the boy
Yeah.
band thing for a little bit. Like I was
Yeah.
even thinking today for this, like I have most of my t-shirts have a boy band on them.
Well,
Most
that's
of them.
why I wore this because
And
I've
I
seen you
love it.
wearing them. Yeah.
But like I was thinking for this, like, oh, I shouldn't wear a boy band shirt. I wear it too much. But maybe they're expecting that. Maybe they
Yeah.
want me to do it. So I
Yeah.
don't know. So I just wore a comedy club hoodie.
I love it.
But thank you for wearing that shirt. Justin Timberlake, I have not met him yet, but he did like one of my jokes on Instagram.
Are
And
you
that to
kidding
me,
me?
I am not kidding you. And it was about Chris Kirkpatrick as
Oh,
well.
if you think
So
I don't have that on the docket of conversations to talk about, you're wrong. Of
okay,
course, I
all
have
right,
that on the docket to talk about. That is,
great.
I just can't believe that Justin liked that post. That's so cool.
It was so awesome. I couldn't believe actually someone pointed it out to me. I didn't even realize until
Yeah.
like a couple days later. I was like, "Oh my God. All right. I'm on the right track. If Justin Timberlake's liking my jokes, I'm doing all right."
Have you ever met Joey Fatone?
Yeah, I've kissed Joey on the mouth.
You've
I've
kissed Joey on the mouth? That's so
he,
funny.
he kissed me a year ago. We were at this club in Palm Springs,
Uh-huh.
and I was with my wife, and we were with some friends, and we went to this club together, and he just took my face and went, and I was just like, all right. And the next day, Chris Kirkpatrick kissed me on the mouth too. It was amazing,
Oh my God, you've made it
crazy.
through 2/5 of NSYNC.
Oh yeah,
That's
on the
really
lips.
amazing. It sounds like the way that Joey kissed you just from your setup, it sounds like on his end it was pretty impulsive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. I see
yeah.
it. Yep. I see what you did there. He was just feeling the vibe and just went in for it. It was
That's
good.
amazing. Well, Marcus's wild word was impulsive. So I'm dying to hear your wild night story. We're already vibing. Marcus, give it to us your wild night
Okay.
impulsive.
All right. There's a lot of backstory to go into this. So
Let's do it.
I used to make a living doing professional juggling shows. Some
Mhm.
people know this about me, some people don't. I would do crazy stunts on stage,
Mhm.
and I sometimes would open for bands.
Nice.
And I'm taking you back. I'm
Okay.
in my 30s. This is
Yes.
2007,
Okay.
2006, 2007. I was asked to open up for Cake. Do you know Cake?
The name sounds really, really familiar. If
Yeah.
you told me one of their songs, I'd probably remember, but I can't think of any songs that they sing.
Okay, so they have a song called The Distance. He's
Okay.
going the distance. He's going for speed.
Yes, it
He's
sounds very talky.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
And they also had a song that was like, I'm a little stuffed up because I went
Me
to this
too.
party last night, so I'm a little nasally. So I'm just
You
like,
went to the party last night. You were at the Comedy Cellar holiday party. You were at the party.
I'm hurting. No, I behaved myself, but I was just out late.
Yeah.
Um, they have a song. I want a girl with a short skirt and a long,
Jacket.
yeah,
Yeah.
this Cake. So like the poor man's Weezer, pretty much. So
Okay.
I was asked to open for them New Year's Eve in my hometown of Milwaukee.
Hmm.
Sold out Riverside Theater. It's like 4,000 people. I needed to do something like crazy at this show
Yeah.
because I had done these New Year's Eve shows before in
Hmm.
Wisconsin, and it was all pretty tame. I actually got one review once that wasn't great. It was like having a juggler opened up for this band would be like the Flying Karamazov Brothers opening up for the Rolling Stones, which I didn't really even know what that meant. But
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, it wasn't the right vibe. So I needed to
Of
like
course.
feel the energy of, like know my audience.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I bought no, at the time I'm like 21 years old. I
Hmm.
bought a 12-foot tall unicycle. I got
Nice.
on the internet. This guy in Indiana, who I think is now female,
Okay.
but makes these custom unicycles.
Okay.
So I bought
Interesting.
one, came on at $1,500, 12 feet tall. It came on a train. That's how big it is. And then got sent to my parents' house. So I was like, okay. So I know I want to ride this unicycle in the show. What else do I want to do? Well, I was like, I need to juggle fire, but I
Okay.
like juggling fire. And everyone's always like, juggle knives or fire. Like, so I made a prop. I invented this prop called a Norch, which is a
Okay.
knife and a torch taped together.
Whoa.
Yeah. So it's like, it's one handle, but it's like they're taped together. So it's like the size of two with a knife sticking out and a torch sticking out.
Oh
And
my
then,
gosh.
and then I decided, okay, so that's good. So people will love that, but I need something else. People go, damn.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
put a helmet on my head and then I taped fireworks to this helmet. So it's New Year's Eve, right?
Yeah.
It's like I go to the theater at like noon for rehearsal, and I see this stage. I'm like, oh gosh, like when I was practicing this act. First of all, I never practiced with the Norches on fire or with the helmet exploding. I only practiced in like a gym with nothing lit because I'm practicing inside. I can't like light stuff on fire at a
Right.
school gym.
Of course.
No, I went to this rehearsal and I realized the stage was a lot smaller than I was thinking. The space I had to unicycle wasn't big at all. It was like 4 feet, like a 4 foot plane I had to work on.
Okay.
And other because they had like a drum kits, cords, wires, microphones, amps, all this like band, like they're a rock band,
Yeah,
tons of
yeah,
stuff on
yeah.
stage. So I'm like, my first rehearsal, I push off on this ladder. That's how I got on the unicycle, and I pushed and I fell off the unicycle like right away. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't even get on. I like fell backwards, and I got the wind knocked out of me. It was really scary.
Yeah,
So I
that
was
is
like, all right, I
scary.
don't want to practice. I'm just gonna do it at the show. And they're like, what? I was like, I just need to do it at the show. I don't want to practice. I'm gonna get too in my head. I'm gonna hurt myself. I'm gonna be too nervous now, so I don't want to practice.
What
Which
an
is
interesting approach. Yeah, because you would think that somebody would want to practice to try to see make sure I can nail this rather than being like, fuck it, I'm gonna wing it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was 20,
Yeah.
22, 21, kind of
Of
dumb.
course.
I
No,
was on my
but yeah.
parents' health insurance.
Yeah,
It didn't really matter.
you're learning. You're
I
learning.
was always like one of those like I'm gonna live forever kind of guys anyway.
Yeah. It's working
So
for you.
I thank you. So showtime. I'm nervous. I already did one set on stage where I just kind of like juggled, made some stupid jokes,
Yeah.
and the audience was like on my side, but they were there to see Cake.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, Cake's about to go on, and so it's my turn. Oh God. So I'm so nervous. I'm so
Yeah.
nervous. I climb up this ladder. My dad's there. He's helping me get on the unicycle, light
Okay.
my Norches, my torches. The firework is exploding. My heart is beating so fast. I start juggling. Everyone's going crazy. They're losing their minds. Now, I say this story is very impulsive because I finished juggling and it couldn't have gone any better. And I'm supposed to get off the unicycle. Now, I was supposed to go back to the ladder to get off the unicycle, but I was like, I'm feeling the vibe of the energy. So I just decided to jump off the unicycle.
12
So I
feet.
jumped off the unicycle, and that was the dumbest thing I could have done because that meant I had to land on the stage, and I
Right.
did, but I landed on like the hardest part of the stage, and I broke both my feet at the same time during that fall. Both my feet just broke.
Oh my God. And that's right before the cake show starts.
Right before I had no idea my feet were broken, so I jumped up and I was like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, like what's up?" And then I realized, "Oh no, this doesn't feel right." Because I've never broken bones before, but
Right.
apparently you got to have a lot of adrenaline. You have a
Yeah.
lot of it takes a second for your body to be like, "You're done. Stop
Yeah.
walking." And
Yeah.
so then I realized, and this video of me doing this is on YouTube, and you
Okay.
can kind of see. Oh, you can kind of see the moment when I realized, oh no, this is no good.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, that I went to the green room. I crawled my way to
Yeah.
the green room because I couldn't walk. Put my feet in these ice buckets that had like all the drinks and waters, and I was like, okay, I don't think anything's broken. I don't see anything
Off.
that's bad.
Yeah.
And so I put my shoes on. I'm like tippy. I'm on my tiptoes now. The only way I can walk is on my tiptoes because like my heels, both of them are just done. And then I'm like, this is weird. I go to the hospital the next day and they do like 3 x-rays, find out my feet are just broken.
Yeah.
They were like, you're so lucky you even got here. We weren't like, you were so close to never like walking normally again.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
pretty nuts, pretty nuts. And that was the last time I'd ever ridden that unicycle as well. And I still have it. It just collects dust in my parents' basement.
Yeah,
And
a
now I
little
do
PTSD.
comedy, and that's a little bit less dangerous. And me just on stage, telling dumb jokes is way better.
Yeah, a little bit safer than a 12-foot unicycle on a 4-foot plane.
Exactly, exactly.
Oh my gosh, that
Yeah.
is wild. Thank God your dad was there too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he didn't really know what to do. None of us did. We just like were pretty I mean, yeah, it was just pretty crazy. It was uh we didn't think I was gonna break any bones. The rehearsals went fine except for that
Yeah.
one at the venue, but I was pretty comfortable on the unicycle. But it was
Yeah.
just one of those things where if I just would have gotten off the unicycle the way we had planned, although it wouldn't have been that powerful on stage,
Yeah.
it it wouldn't have made it. It was more impactful the way I jumped off, a little bit more dramatic.
Yes.
But yeah,
Yeah,
crazy.
that is crazy. I will say with full confidence that I have never had a story like that told on the show, and I've had some wild nights told.
Okay, all right,
Nothing like that. That is absolutely insane, and it just goes
yeah.
to show you, like, especially performers in general. We're such peacocks and like want like live in the moment and live in the impulsivity of all of it, and to just say, I know this is not the right move, but if it goes well, how epic will I look?
Totally. And you got to take risks in life too. And
Absolutely.
that's why I love Andy Kaufman so much. I'm a
Yeah.
huge like Andy Kaufman fan because sometimes I think, oh, people aren't going to like this, or my peers, my other comics are going to think this is stupid, but I think it's funny. I just got to just do it anyway. Just, just put out the stuff that you like, that you want to do. Hopefully other people will like it and start to watch you and follow you and appreciate the stuff you're doing.
Yeah, fortune favors the brave. And honestly, there's no one like anyone. So you might as well just be yourself. Like, if you have the
Exactly.
opportunity to be yourself, just be yourself. Well, that was absolutely wild. Thank you so much for sharing that
My
story.
pleasure.
Do your feet feel weird now? Do you feel
No,
like
totally
they're
fine.
totally normal? That's
Totally
awesome.
normal. Yeah,
But
they're small, but they're good.
they're small but mighty.
Yeah.
Were you on crutches?
I was just I had to lay in bed for a couple weeks. I didn't
Gotcha.
move around much. They couldn't
Gotcha.
really like boot like both of my feet.
Uh,
So I just kind of just had to be very careful. I think I wore braces, like little like heel braces
keep
for a
them in.
while. And
Wow.
yeah, yeah, the recovery was not fun.
The recovery is not fun. I can't imagine it would have been. But for you, you started off doing juggling, and obviously now you moved on to like a more extreme juggling, to have
Yeah.
a torch and a knife on the same plane. Did you start to
Yes.
do comedy because you found yourself being funny and quippy on stage?
Yeah, I think my juggling show was always kind of funny, so it was
Yeah.
kind of like it wasn't like I say I've only been doing like straight stand up for maybe like 4 years, but I've been on stage for my whole life
Yeah.
doing juggling shows. So and my shows were all always pretty funny. Even if I was doing like fire and knives, I always found a way to make it funny. To me, the juggling was always just a vehicle for the humor, for the
Yeah.
comedy. So I didn't like I never really I took juggling like seriously a little bit, but it was always about the jokes, and
Yeah.
I always preferred to go see a comedy show versus like a juggling show.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I just thought like doing stand up is really hard, and I
Oh
didn't
yeah.
think I'd be able just to do stand up alone without like a crutch
Hmm.
pretty much. But now, I have for the last couple of years, and it's been really, really fun. Although very challenging, of course.
Yes.
But and there are times I wish I could turn around and just go to like a a trunk of juggling stuff and just start juggling stuff to show
Yeah.
people, hey, I have talent. I can do it.
I could
I
do
can
this
do it.
too.
I mean, even it's the one of the dumbest skills I think in the world, but whatever.
Well, I mean, I think you know what I actually think about juggling? I don't think it's that it's one of the dumbest skills.
Okay.
I think that it's very difficult to do, so it's easy to label as dumb. I mean, I'm sorry, it's very
Uh,
hard to do, so it's easy to label as dumb. Do you know what I mean? Like it's
yeah,
not.
it's just so silly because like at least with magic, you're taking a blue a cube and you're turning it into like a lizard. With
Yeah.
juggling, you're juggling the balls at the end of it. They're still just ball. You know, there's nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed, but there is a skill to it. So people can easily be like, "Oh, juggling's stupid," but it's like juggling's stupid, but also you can't do it. So
Right,
maybe that's why
right.
you're calling. I had to take a clowning class in college, and we had to. I the only thing I could do is juggle scarves. So,
Oh, okay. All
but
right.
that's
That's not
still it's nothing. I guess it's fine.
wait, in college?
Yeah, I went to school for acting, so we had to take
What school did you go to?
a Delphi.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah, it was fun, but, that was one of our core, like, requirements was to take a clowning class, and,
That's awesome.
so we had to, like, balance peacock feathers. I never made it on the unicycle because I was like, "I'm scared," but
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
yeah. So you opened for this band Cake, and I've
Yeah.
also seen online that you've opened for O Town.
Yeah,
Uh,
recently I did.
that's crazy. I wanna hear all about that, but, anybody who doesn't know who O-Town is, I just wanna give you a brief backstory. There was a television show, I guess early 2000s maybe,
Yep.
called Making the Band, where this guy, Lou Pearlman, put together a boy band, by auditions, and it was a weekly reality show that he put together by auditions where the boy bands, like, that would get plucked off, the guys would get plucked off, and then finally there was O-Town, then one guy got removed from the band, and they added Dan, and it was just great, and they sing songs like Liquid Dreams and,
Oh my
Nothing
god.
All or Nothing?
All or Nothing, Liquid
Yeah,
Dreams. I mean, like their old stuff is great.
old
Don't get
stuff's
me
great.
wrong, but their new stuff and like people are like, "Wait, O-Town's putting out new music?" I'm like, "Yeah." And it's like legit good. Like I've been in road trips with other comics and we're going to clubs. I'm like, "Hey, listen to my friend's band. They're out of Brooklyn." And I'll say that and I'll play some of O-Town songs like, "Oh, this is really good. Who is it?" I'm like, "Haha, it's O-Town." And they're like,
Oh my
"What?" I'm
god.
like, "Got you." And like they're yeah, just go listen Spotify. They're on there. Their new stuff is so good. Giants is my favorite song. Funny story though, my buddy Trevor is in O Town, and
You're friends with Trevor?
yeah,
Oh
and
my
he was
god.
over at my house the other day, and I had a spot at the cellar, so he went with me, and then he just like ended up crashing at my house that night because he needed he needed a spot. He had like a 7 a.m. flight out of LaGuardia back to LA, so he just stayed at my spot. And I was like in bed, I was like, oh my god, this is so funny. Trevor from O Town's upstairs. And and we were just hanging out all day. But sometimes I'm just like, wait, what is my life right now? Like I
Yeah.
grew up idolizing this guy. I have a framed photo of him like 20 feet away.
Oh my
And he's just like
gosh.
the coolest dude. And we just like hang out. Like we were editing videos together and dude, we're like legit friends. We get along great. And you know, he lets me nerd out a little bit. I'll geek out, like, oh, what's O-Town up to? You know, and like,
Trevor, now I'm trying to think. Because I said Dan was the one that was added to the band, right?
yep,
Okay, so
correct.
I did get that right. Not having any O Town refreshments for probably
That's
what
great.
20
That's great.
years.
Wow.
So Dan was added, but then there's David. No, is that
No,
wrong?
there's Eric,
Eric,
Jacob.
Trevor, Jacob. I think that's who I'm thinking of. Jacob
Yeah.
was the kind of like a little more edgy one.
Yeah, yeah. He had the dreads.
Yes,
He's like the
yes,
white guy with the dreads. A little
yes.
problematic
Little
nowadays.
problematic, but
But now he doesn't have the dreads. But I love he has like a very like raspy, sultry
yeah,
voice, which I really like. Eric, I mean, they all have great, very different, distinct voices.
yeah. And,
But yeah, they're
and
all
so it's still the same members.
yeah, Ashley is not in the group anymore, but
I was gonna ask about that.
I was it was funny though. Last year I went to my buddy's wedding and O Town was there and Ashley was there, and they were all kind of hanging out. Or not everyone from O Town was there, but a few, and they were all kind of hanging out together. And it was nice. We went to Del Taco together, and I was like, I'm with Jacob and Ashley from O Town, and everyone seems to be pretty cool. So
Yeah.
kind of fun.
And also, just not to shift gears, first of all, thank you for telling me all that O-Town information. I will be listening this afternoon. I did not know they were putting out new music. So this is
Good.
Great
It's
music,
good.
great
It's good.
information to get. You have a Chris Kirkpatrick tattoo.
Yes.
What? How?
Yeah.
Why? And yes, yes, yes. But what is the
Uh,
story behind that? If you're
well,
cool sharing it,
yeah. Well, I'll show you. First,
please.
can
Wow,
you see it?
I can. Yeah,
Okay, it's tiny. I got this tattoo like 2 years ago, just on a whim because I thought it would be funny. But here's
yeah.
the thing. I got it at this tattoo parlor. It's like a legit tattoo, but they told me the ink will like disappear within a
Mm.
year. But it's been like 2 years now, and this he's
Okay.
still like on my body.
Yeah,
So this might just be who I am now.
yeah.
But I've told Chris and I've shown Chris, and he thinks it's hilarious. And he yeah, he's a really funny dude. I thought like when I was like growing up and I was watching NSYNC videos and
Yeah,
like they'd be on like the Rosie O'Donnell show or like Regis and Kathy. I would
yeah,
the Today Show. Chris would always make me laugh whenever he's on like a late night show. Like I
yeah,
always like he's just a funny guy. Never took himself too seriously, and I really responded to that. And my mom and I would always like watch and sync and be like, "Oh man, Chris is so funny." And
yeah,
so I had to get Chris on my shoulder just because like he kind of helped like like I found a sense of humor in that
yeah,
band, and I thought it was kind of fun. Like they're these cool guys, but never took themselves too seriously, and
yeah.
so it was pretty awesome to see.
You
Um,
could tell that they had fun with each other.
yeah, you totally could. Yeah, and they still do. Like they're still
Yeah.
clowning around to this day. So I think that's pretty awesome. I've been to Nashville with Chris. Like we're buds. It's unbelievable.
And did you become buds because I saw that you posted like, "Hey Chris, I'm going to be at Zany's. You should come." But then he didn't come, but then he reached out to you.
Yes, yes, that was our first real interaction was
Yeah.
that Zany's post I did because he had read the I sent oh so I was performing at Zany's in Nashville. I
Yes.
invited
Yeah.
Chris and he had read the message but didn't respond. So then I went on stage that next night. I was like, "Yo, what's up with your boy Chris? He read this message but didn't respond." I put that on the internet. Then he was like, "Oh my God, dude, I'm so sorry. My team read it. I didn't read it."
Yeah.
Then he like reposted a video, then Justin liked it, and then that was then like 2 years later is when we like first met. And
Wow.
yeah, it's pretty awesome. Then we've got together maybe like 3 times within the last year.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. They're just like cool guys, normal people.
Of
He's got a,
course.
a
Of course.
a cool wife and a cool kid, and yeah, he's
Yeah.
living his life and he's doing great. He was
Yeah.
on Masked Singer. He did Celebrity Big Brother. Like, it's pretty sweet.
I think I did watch. Was he on the season with Chris Kattan of
I
Celebrity?
think,
But
yeah, I think that's right. I think that sounds familiar because I don't really watch that show, but I watched a few clips. I think I saw
yeah,
Chris Kattan on there.
I watched the like Big Brother, but the Celebrity one, I think I might have only turned on because of Chris Kirkpatrick. So that's really funny.
Yeah,
Now boy band, shifting gears just a little bit because I have a
sure.
couple more questions for you, and it's really a cool thing. But you're a grandfather,
Yeah.
which
Yeah. So, that is true. I'm in my
yeah,
30s and I have a grandkid. So my wife had a kid when she was in her teens
hmm
before it was cool
yeah. Before there
and
was a TV show about it,
before she could monetize it.
yeah,
And then that kid had a baby.
uh-huh,
So my stepdaughter had a baby, and it's incredible.
yeah,
She's awesome. I love her, so much. Both of them.
yeah,
And I mean, I have one, but my stepdaughter and that we all get along great.
yeah.
Her name is Poppy. She's a little over
Oh,
2 right now, and she can't say my name. So we wanted her to I didn't want to be called grandpa because I thought that would wreck my psyche a little bit if I was
yeah,
in my 30s and especially in public,
yeah,
people being like, "Hey, why is this young girl calling you grandpa?" I'd be like,
yeah,
"People don't."
yeah, yeah.
Um, so we're gonna have her call me Mister because that's what
Okay,
Hannah, my stepdaughter, calls me. Like, "Hey, is
okay,
Mister coming over?" It's just kind
yeah,
of a cute thing she
yeah,
started.
yeah.
But then Poppy, she couldn't say Mister, so she calls me Mip. like
Oh,
MIP. And I'm like,
yeah.
oh, that's even cuter because it's just
Yeah.
like her personal way of how to say my name. So she calls me Mip, and it's much less weird in public
Yeah.
when she says that than grandpa,
Right, right, right.
I'm assuming. Um, so yeah, she's great. I'll see her in about a month from now, and yeah, she is the best.
That's
It's very
amazing.
cool. It is very weird when I'm like, this is my granddaughter. It was weird enough to be like, this is my stepdaughter, and we're 5 years
Yeah,
apart. It's
right.
even weirder to be like, this is my granddaughter, and
But
people are, yeah,
it's a really unique experience. Like you're so young, but you get to be a grandfather and see so much of Poppy's life. Like
that's
that's so
true.
cool. Like people
Yeah.
don't get that experience. So that's wonderful. And so what I was going to ask you, as kind of like a button, if you have any grandfatherly advice, what would it be?
Oh man, great question. Never
Thank
been
you.
asked to give grandfatherly advice before. I think a lot of people will say like, their grandfathers are like different generations, right?
Mhm.
Like maybe, they're boomers now, for the most part, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And I think a lot of the disconnect from boomers and like Gen Z, millennials even, it's just the constant like misunderstanding of things.
Yeah.
It's just like I think we would all get along a lot better if we just like understood people a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I'm always just like I just like listen. I think the number one like advice is just like listen to the kids and just
Yeah.
like listen, let them talk because kids are a lot smarter than we give them credit. Um, and I think Gen Z is doing like a great job politically of like trying to save this country a little bit.
Yes, they are.
I think passing common sense like gun laws. I know this podcast isn't political, but I
No,
just mean like,
actually, my whole opening last week was about, the Tennessee 3. So
oh,
I
okay,
I I try to, like, if I have the, I have the opportunity to be political or talk about something I feel strongly about, then yes, I will. So don't worry if you need to get political, this is a
for
forum for
sure,
that. Yeah.
for sure. So I think that's like definitely a thing. Just listen, have respect
Yeah.
for each other. This is not just like grandfather advice, but just like advice as a person trying to survive in this world.
Yeah.
Um, I think, just let
I
people live their life.
I think that's great advice. Thank you so much, Marcus.
No problem.
Listen, 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 and maybe to add to that, if you listen to someone, don't be so reactive. Maybe
Yeah.
try to talk it out and see why you're on a different playing field because you might learn something.
Yeah. Not everything is a personal attack,
There it is. Not
right?
everything's a personal attack. Now, Marcus, do you have anything you want to plug? Any shows coming up?
Yes. Yes. I do have some shows coming up. I have, let's see, I'm trying to do this off the top of my head. Boston, May 10th and 11th. I'm doing
Okay.
Hideout Comedy. I'm doing, then in Milwaukee, May 19th at Turner Hall. It's a big, big show. I'm from
Mhm.
Milwaukee.
Yeah.
I don't want to break my feet at this show, but I'm doing it with Pete Lee, who's a great comic, and Ben Seidman, my best friend. He's a magician, but
Uh-huh.
he's really, really great. I'm gonna be in Baltimore in July. Yeah, just tons of dates. Go to
Tons of dates.
marcusmonroe.com for more, or Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff.
Where can everybody find you on those?
It's just search Marcus Monroe. It'll
There you
it'll
go.
pop up. It's Marcus J Monroe, but I had, just
For
search Marcus
for the
Monroe.
government, we put the
Yeah,
J in there.
yeah. It was
Um,
yeah, exactly.
Marcus, I cannot thank you. This was such a rich conversation. So I knew it would be super interesting and super great, but you exceeded my expectations. So thank you so, so
Oh,
much.
my pleasure. I'm happy to do it. Thank you
Uh,
for having me. This was a great talk, and hope it wasn't too impulsive.
oh my goodness. Is that what we call a callback? That was a callback.
I
Marcus,
it was a terrible callback, but
I
yeah,
don't think so.
it
I
was a
think it
little
was real.
forced.
It's okay.
All
It
right,
got me by surprise.
all right.
It
Heck
got me
yeah,
by surprise.
heck yeah.
Marcus, thank you so much. You and I will talk soon, okay?
Okay, sounds good, Rocky. Thank you.
All right, bye.